Hey, it's Glitch. Welcome back to episode 5 of Cutie Craft. Today in this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I'm going to be working on the villager trading hall a little bit, and that's going to be going on in the background, and I'm going to be reading Reddit stories to you folks while I'm doing this. So without further ado, let's get started. I found my boyfriend's second phone. I wish he was cheating. Me and my boyfriend started dating around 6 months ago. It was the first relationship I've ever had. I had never been so happy. It was like we were meant to be. I met him at a coffee shop I frequent. I started noticing him there any time I went. Sometimes I'd catch him staring, and he'd look around all embarrassed whenever I did. I thought it was the cutest thing. After a while, I found myself silently hoping that he'd come over and ask to sit with me. We've been playing eye tag for a couple of weeks, smirking and laughing at each other, but neither of us had taken the extra step of introducing ourselves. When he finally did, I felt butterflies start flapping around in my stomach like never before. His smoldering blue eyes, that curly black hair, and his cute little freckles. I'm not afraid to admit that I was smitten. Our relationship grew from there. We were seeing each other every weekend, catching movies, having dinner, playing some mini golf. I knew it was a honeymoon phase. I just didn't care. He made me feel wanted, and that was just not something I was entirely used to. He'd show up with my favorite flowers, favorite candies, always knew the right thing to say. I don't want to ramble, I just can't get over how perfect I thought he was. Thought? Okay, I'm scared. I haven't read any of these right now. I'm starting to read them now. Things started to go a bit sideways one night at a sleepover at his house. I had gotten up to pee late at night, and as I groggily dragged myself to the bathroom, I could have swore I heard the vibration of a phone coming from a sock drawer. I was too tired at the time to really pay any attention, but it was still fresh in my mind the next day. I asked him about it, and he got defensive enough for me to become suspicious. He showed me all of his drawers, though, and there was no phone in sight. That kind of subsided my suspicion a bit. A few weeks went by without any issue. We never argued. He made me feel like the only girl in the world. Then we had another sleepover. Yet again, after he was fast asleep, the vibrations of a cell phone came echoing, this time from his closet. This time around, I was awake enough to actually investigate, but once I did, I immediately regretted it. Hidden within an old shoebox that was buried beneath a stack of blankets, I found it, a second cell phone. The screen lit up with storage full notifications, but what caught my attention was the wallpaper. It was me, asleep in bed. I wasn't even the wallpaper on his actual phone. Seeing myself like this only made my mind race more. I couldn't help myself. Luckily, he didn't have a password to unlock the phone. Oh gosh, I'm scared. Luckily, he didn't have a password to unlock the phone, but what he did have a password for was his photos. I took a wild guess. That's why I think it was fate that I made this discovery. I put in my birthday and the Photos app unlocked. My jaw dropped and my heart sank. There were hundreds, if not thousands, of pictures. They were all of me. Some of me at his house, on the toilet, in the shower, sleeping in his bed, but some were from places that didn't make sense to me. Me at the coffee shop, reading a book, me walking home from school, standing in line at the grocery store, me outside my apartment, fishing around in my purse for the keys. More than anything, though, there are pictures of me asleep in my own apartment. Some were taken from my window, my second story window, others were taken from inside the apartment. I kept scrolling, and the more I did, the more terrified I became. The photos dated back to at least 2 years ago. Family dinners, early morning jogs, study sessions. In the library, I was getting sick to my stomach. As I scrolled, a noise from behind me snapped me back out of trance, the sound of my boyfriend's bed creaking and squeaking from his shifting weight. He called my name. Once, twice, 3 times, I never responded. I heard his footsteps rush up behind me. They stopped a few inches from my back. Instead of asking what I was doing, apologizing, or even attempting to grab his phone, he began laughing, cackling like a madman. And as I stood there too paralyzed to turn around, he finally spoke again. Happy anniversary, sweetheart. Is that real? Like, I can't tell if that's fake. That has to be fake, right? Happy anniversary, sweetheart, after that? What? Okay, so that's that story. I don't know if it's fake or not, but here we are going on to the second one. I found this one. I shouldn't laugh. How to talk to my 25 female boyfriend who's 28 male about his poor body odor. Hey everyone, thought this would be an okay place to ask. Yes, let's ask Reddit. My boyfriend and I have been together for 7 months. Body odor and smell was never an issue in the beginning, so I think He was just putting more effort into pursuing me and doesn't put much effort in now since we are actually dating. Anyways, poor bodily smell and bad breath has been a struggle the past 3 to 4 months. 3 months. Oh my gosh. He sometimes has just a dirty and sweaty smell to him, along with poor breath and noticeable spots on his teeth, which say he doesn't brush regularly. We don't live together, obviously, so I can't know how much he showers. However, when I have slept over, I don't even see him brush his teeth, so I doubt he does when he's alone. It's been causing an obvious issue in our intimacy, and with me wanting to be close to him. He's been sick for a bit, so we haven't had sex in like 2 months. He also has a lower sex drive than me, which is kind of an issue itself, too. However, I don't even want to initiate or have sex at all because I worry the smell of him and his breath would turn me off. Sometimes he would come over and watch TV, which leads to me putting my hand on his shoulder, and sometimes I can't even stand that. The smell just makes me gross. I'm very smell sensitive. Even when he just talks to me, I can sometimes smell his breath. Additionally, he doesn't have laundry in his apartment and does it at his parents'. I've literally seen him put it off for 2 weeks and will just wear dirty clothes. He only has a few outfits, so he will wear the same dirty ones for days on end, which had added to the smell. Oh no. I've offered to let him do laundry at my house, but he always says no. How do I bring this up in a kind way? I really love him and don't want to break up. But I struggle on how to bring things like this up as I can cause hurt feelings. I just don't know what to do. It just feels like I'm mothering a grown man despite how much I love him. I don't want to have to tell an almost 30-year-old man to do basic self-care and hygiene. So, I'm not going to be the person that says break up because that's rude, and I've been in a scenario before where people are telling me to break up with somebody. I'm like, no, like, you can fix things with communication. Honestly, that's all it is. And if somebody can't communicate with you, you communicate your feelings and what you want, and they don't see that, then maybe it's time to reconsider breaking up. But you have to tell him about the body odor. I know how uncomfortable it might be, but telling him is the least of his worries. I would not want to be stinky. Anyways, here's story 3. Oh my gosh, this sounds horrible. I'm gonna read it. 29 female. I have cancer. Husband 31 male said I don't do enough as a stay-at-home mom. Right off the bat, horrible title. My husband said to me yesterday that I don't do enough around the house and that I could be doing more. This was after he asked if the patio box that holds couch cushions still had water in the bottom of it. I told him yes, it does. I completely forgot about it. He proceeded to make snide comments and said I'm home all day. I have time to do these things. For context, I'm the primary child care for our 1-year-old son. I was also diagnosed with stage 4 breast cancer back in March. Thankfully, I don't have any physical side effects from chemo, but emotionally and mentally, it's very draining. We've been married for 2 years, together for 7. Later, he apologized, and I told him that I feel really angry and hurt. I told him that our house is pristine, and often my days, if I'm not cleaning or caring for our son, I've been preparing my will, obituary, and making arrangements for when I die someday. Hopefully, I'll live a long time, but I also cherish the time with our son in the present. I don't want to miss anything. I honestly feel at a loss. I don't understand how he can be so insensitive, and I feel totally unsupported in the struggle that has been this cancer diagnosis. What would you do or advice would you give? You are allowed to be upset because what he did say was extremely rude. Not excusing what he said in any way, but he could have worded it nicer or communicated with you better because communication goes a really long way. Anyways, here's the 4th story. The title says, Am I Wrong? Hello, something that's really bothering me is about my brother and his girlfriend. They are both early 20s in college and she lives with us. I have no problem with that because she's great. She cooks, she watches movies with me. Her and my brother share her car. She does dishes, helps us and him, and is just a good person in general. From the beginning, it seems like she was the only one fighting for the relationship, I guess I'd say. They got promise rings like about a year in, and he would not listen to her whenever something was wrong. He'd ignore her and she'd cry, and the only way she could get his attention is by taking off the ring and throwing it. I'm 17 and my brother and I grew up in a kind of rough household. My mom constantly yelled at us both, and my dad took our sides when we were alone, but in front of our mom, she was always right. My mom is very manipulative and she does whatever she can to get her way, and it's rubbed off on my brother badly. This isn't terrible, but every time we just slightly argue, he needs to get it out to my parents and basically manipulate them into thinking I'm a bad person. Yes, I know it's not terrible. It's just an example that he claims it's because he's trying to help me. Him and his girlfriend argue a lot. It's not bad, just over little things. He can never be wrong. It's like every time she points out one wrong thing that he does, he either hugs her over and over, argues, acts like he doesn't know what he's doing wrong, then distances himself, then acts stupid, or whenever she brings something up he knows he does wrong, he'll make a joke out of it, just how my dad does. I know that I shouldn't get involved in anybody else's relationship, but they are constantly arguing, whether it's in the living room, where we all sit, or whenever we're all out. Together, it's just constant, and it gets to the point where I can't do anything in the house. They don't scream, but it's just annoying. Over these past few weeks, I couldn't take it. I had to point out his manipulation. He just constantly makes excuses when he's wrong. Then it makes her mad, and it's just intolerable to be around them. And if, like, he really wasn't manipulating her, then I don't see why she would agree with me when I point it out. She's like a fair person. If she doesn't agree with you, she'll make it known. My brother had a talk with me about how I need to stop because I don't have enough experience in the real world. And honestly, I do, because I'm 17. But I've been analyzing people since I was younger, and since my mom manipulated me when we were kids, it's easy for me to pick up on it. I told him that was true, what he's doing is wrong, and it's going to lead to bigger problems, but I'll stay out of it. I don't know. He said that she manipulates too, but I'm around them basically all the time since it's summer, and it's always him making her upset and starting arguments. I don't think he does it on purpose, but he does do it like a lot. I know I should just be able to let it go, but it bothers me not only because she's a good person, but also because it'll ruin his future with her and for himself. I guess all I want to get out of this is if it's wrong to feel like I needed to step up. It's really sad. I'm so sorry. Patterns follow through with families. It really does, and that's unfortunate. I'm sorry. I believe this is the fifth story. Correct me if I'm wrong. The title is 25 Days Before Our Wedding, He Left Me for the Girl Who Cheated on Him. I'm honestly still in shock and need to get this out. My boyfriend and I fell in love really fast in the beginning. He felt like everything I needed: calm, secure, mature, especially after my previous toxic relationship. He felt safe. I trusted him completely. But there was always this one issue: his ex. She had treated him terribly, cheating, manipulating, making him insecure. He broke up with her. But she kept coming back, begging him to stay. Even while we were together, he kept meeting her to help her move on. This went on for 6 months into our relationship. I hated it. But he kept reassuring me it meant nothing. Eventually, he blocked her. Things felt perfect again. We were deeply in love, happy, even decided to get married. Then everything changed. Out of nowhere, he started becoming extremely suspicious. One day, he asked to see my chats with a coworker I had. I honestly had nothing to hide, so I showed him, expecting reassurance. Instead, he completely flipped, said my behavior was unacceptable, accused me of emotionally cheating. After that, things spiraled for months. He started checking everything: my messages, my Instagram, who I followed, who I added to close friends. He would question me constantly, call me a liar, say I was broken and needed therapy. He compared my chats with friends to how I spoke to him. Even replying to multiple people at once became disloyal in his eyes. And the worst part? I believed him. I spent months trying to fix something I thought I wasn't normal. I thought something was wrong with me, especially because my ex had similar issues. I started thinking maybe I was the problem. Maybe this is why men react like this with me. We had maybe one good day for every bad 2 days. Then, 25 days before our wedding, he suddenly ended everything, said it was too much, that I was worse than his ex, that he couldn't marry me. I begged. I didn't even know what I did wrong, but I still begged. On the last day we met, he was cold, rude, calling me crazy, and then I saw a chat on his phone. It was his ex. He was telling her he missed her, that he loved her. When I confronted him, he snatched the phone and deleted it. Said it was nothing, just casual. That he only messaged her to thank her for gifts. That he felt bad, she still loved him. But yeah, that was it. After everything, the accusations, the control, the way he made me feel insane, he went back to the same person who hurt him. So now I'm just sitting here wondering, was he never over her? Was it just a rebound? Did he project everything onto me because of her? Was any of it real? I feel completely shaken. I don't even know what was real anymore. How do you even start to recover from something like this? Time. People say that a lot. People say time will heal all. They are right. It does. I'm still healing. People are still healing. It takes a long time, and nobody knows how long it will take, but you'll get there. Here is the sixth story, I believe. This one is titled The Time Me and My Brother Encountered a Murderer on Meth. I believe it was March of 2006, and me and my brother encountered a man named Aaron Dunn in Elk Grove, California. Now, it was just a regular day. I was about 12 years old at the time, and my brother was about 9 or 10. Anyways, we come back home from playing basketball, and my mom tells me and my brother she needs a few items from the store. Me and my brother didn't hesitate. We love going to the store because my mom usually would give us a $50 bill, and we could get whatever we wanted. So, we're walking around the parking lot of the plaza where the store was. We were approached by a man that looked really pissed off and amped up. He pulled up on us pretty fast too, like he didn't want us to leave. He pulls in front of us and asks us, "Hey, how old are you guys?" Me and my brother, not knowing what he was talking about, we thought he was a nutcase, answered 12 and 9. He told me and my brother never let a woman hurt you and stay in school, and he drives off really fast. So me and my brother are kind of shocked. Like, what the hell was that? Anyways, he ended up shooting two people at the Chili's right across the street where the store was. He was caught and sentenced to death in 2010, but I'll never forget that day. I knew he wanted somebody to shoot, but we were too young. He seen that wouldn't have been right, but that's just one story in my life that has happened. What in the world? That's a crazy last story to read, honestly. Okay, folks, thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna end the video here. Um, I just wanted to catch the Iron Golem plummeting to his death. So basically, I have a whole colony of roaming villagers in my house. Well, not roaming. They're absolutely trapped. So thank you so much for watching. Have a good one. Bye!